Well, good morning, folks. I am wanting to talk about our books, the Bible, starting with the Bible, and talk about other books. The law. Whose law? Okay, there's so many different laws. But anyway, I'm here and I'm very grateful to be given this opportunity to stay here because you know I'm not a family member. So I'm just a lady that's complaining. And I am here in a darker environment. So I have to turn on artificial light. But I really like the natural light. And I was thinking if Alexander were here with me, it would be so different. I wouldn't be doing this, obviously. I would be busy. But we all know that there's a lot of stuff happening with this COVID, and the schools are not the same. A lot of things are not the same, and they probably won't be for a long, long time. I am not a teacher. I've never claimed to be a teacher, but what I will say is that when I was very young, before I joined the military, I thought that I could teach special ed if I chose to be a teacher. That would be something that I would have done had I gone into teaching. Because I had a special needs brother, and he was so much fun, so much fun. We used to play hide and seek when I would come home from school. I looked forward to playing hide and seek with my brother and my niece, who was like 2 or 3 years younger than my baby brother. And I have fond memories of that. And when Jacob was born, I played a lot with Jacob. We used to go to the park, and when Alexander was also born, we would go to the park, and up until he was taken by DHR. Now, if I were to show you, you can only see me from the waist up or from the chest up. But if you were to see my feet, which I've shown you, my legs, because of the sitting down, my legs they look like they're beat up, okay, from too much sitting. And this is why I've always liked a busy lifestyle. I like to be working and sitting, not too much standing, because too much standing is not good for me either. My feet can only take so much. I mean, I have been on my feet so much in my life. One time I worked a 12-hour shift straight without sitting, without a break at Texas de Brazil. I was literally the hostess for 12-hour shift. Did not even take one break. It's true. On my feet, on my boots. And my feet look like a man's feet. And I'm not bragging about it. It is what it is. So I want you all to know that I make an effort. I make an effort when I put on my makeup. I make an effort to look like professional, to look decent, so that I don't look like a victim walking around. I don't want you to see my sadness and my stress. Stress causes something that's called adrenal fatigue, and a lot of women talk about it on Facebook and online, and they have discoloration of the skin. And they'll say it's adrenal fatigue, it's this melasma or cloasma or whatever. And all of this is happening to us with DHR, to us mothers. This causes stress. Um, who having balance in your life is important. having love in your life. So if they take your kid away from you, let's say you're a single parent, or you were going through a divorce or some kind of hardship that made you vulnerable to them taking your kid away from you. Instead of helping you with the resources, they prey on you like vultures. So it's like your kid is their food. It's like that. They're vultures. So we're better off just sucking it up. Sucking it up very quietly. Don't even tell anybody on Facebook your business. Don't even tell anybody what you're doing. Nobody. Unless your home gets invaded, then you have no choice. If your house is invaded and everybody can see what you're doing, you have no choice. And then the problem lies in that they can switch the time. It's like asking you, oh, no. It's like saying to somebody, to a mother, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your child's death. I'm sorry to hear about your child dying, passing away. And the mother's like, what? No, my child is alive and well, thank you. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Because the time is off. There's the work of the devil right now going on, okay? They can take past and present and even foresee the future with their intelligence because of what they're doing. They know you do A and B and it leads to this. You do this. It's called a war strategy. They know what they're doing. It's a war strategy, and so they know that it's a team against the parent. They're vultures. They're eating our children. So, anyway, it takes me a good 20 minutes to put my makeup on in the morning. And, there are women that will say, oh, I can do a better job than that. I can do it faster and better. Because people will do that. They will invade your home and they will say, I look better than her naked. I look better than her without makeup. Why does she get to live like that? That's not fair. I look better than her. I should be able to live better than her. I'm more talented than she is. Oh, I can paint furniture better than she does. I'm not even bragging about any of these things. Y'all invaded my home in Mobile, and I'm supposed to be some revolutionary. It's like, no, I don't have guns, nor am I promoting guns. When did I tell y'all to go to the Capitol and invade the Capitol with guns? If that was even real. Did I tell you to do that? No. And then people will say, oh, DHR violated my rights. They're violating the law. They're violating the law. And it's like, well, get your kid back altogether. It's like, oh, no, we don't want to go against the law. So if DHR is violating the law, do you see what I mean, people? They're doing this to you because you let them have it. I did. Because my son was picked up directly from school. It wasn't like I invited the DHR lady in my house. Like, oh, yes. Hi, nice to meet you. Yes, from DHR, please come on in my house. Let us have a cup of tea. And biscuits. Let me bake you some cookies. No! They wanted to come and see me at a restaurant when I was having dinner with my son, and I said, no, I'm having dinner with my son. And then they picked up my son when school let out, like strategically at that time, and I was told by the principal, no, we don't want to take your kid away from you. And then they brought in a police officer, and police officers know I will not be disrespectful to a police officer because that's just stupid. Okay? If they have a gun and a license to kill and you're causing ruckus, and nowadays anything can be ruckus. Okay? So you just don't. It's not worth it. I have never been disrespectful to a police officer. I believe that they don't get paid enough for what they do. They don't get paid enough for what they do, and then they have to go out there and brave a world that we think it's harsh. You try doing their job. You try doing their job, because doomed if you do and doomed if you don't. Okay? All I know is I'm not promoting guns. But I'm not against people owning their guns. So I'm being told, no, you can't defend yourself in your house if somebody breaks in your house, but you're a revolutionary. No, I'm not a revolutionary. I'm not encouraging people to go out there with and break into the Capitol. But anyway, my feet, I cannot be on my feet all day, much less making $3 an hour. And nowadays, we know that in the restaurant business, you have half the tables. So you either work at that job. If you were a full-time employee, you're only going to be able to work part-time. And so you need to get another job. Like, get a foster license so you can be the foster parent of somebody else's children who are getting cheated out of their parents. Because this whole thing is a disorganization among you. Among you. Okay? Invading people's homes and then turning around and saying, look, this is a loudmouth. I was not making videos before my son was taken. I was only taking videos of my son being goofy, playing music or jumping around, or very seldom did I videotape him. Not very often. Because I was in the moment, living the moment. I was not videotaping him all the time. So if you saw my feet, you would surely know that I'm not supposed to be standing on my feet all day. Yet I do it. I've done it. And nobody can say that I'm lazy, because I don't leave dishes in the dishwasher and dirty laundry to pile up and carpet without being vacuumed. I don't do that. So, if you don't know what I do in my house, like clean it as best I can, this is not my house. I cannot just go, going through somebody else's stuff. But you've seen my apartment. You've seen the house where I lived. I decorated my space with what I had. I go to Michael's, Kirkland's, Hobby Lobby. I've never claimed to be somebody I'm not. I'm not claiming to be some exotic Queen Sheba. That's ridiculous. I was born in Panama City. I was an Army dependent. I was brought to the United States legally as a teenager to live permanently. I graduated high school in Virginia from Hayfield Secondary. I did not attend Hayfield very long. I attended Corunda Junior High and Balboa High School. I was an ESL student. However, in the AP Spanish, I scored top 5% in the nation for the Spanish and Portuguese languages examinations in 1992. That was a long time ago. I'm an old lady. I'm 47 years old. But you've got to be sexy. You've got to be sexy. You know, you just have to, right? You've got to get your nails done, because if you don't have your nails done when you have short nails, you've got everybody and their brother saying, "Oh, look, I do nails. I do nails. I do nails. Oh, you need your nails done. Oh, let's get your nails done. Oh, come on, girl." Or somebody wanting you to buy their makeup. "Oh, I'm selling makeup. I'm selling makeup. Oh, look at this lipstick. Look at this eyeshadow. Oh, look. When you're walking through the mall, they're shoving stuff at you. And you're like, "Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll try something. I'll try it. You want me to be sexy? I will be. I'll try as best I can, but God forbid I walk around butt naked, because I don't." But we were all born naked, and we're going to go to the grave naked, or whatever. I personally want to be cremated, because I don't want my space occupying a tomb. But you know, nowadays it's like, if you fight for your rights, it's wrong, because you're too loud or you're too weak. You don't have leadership skills. You're too ethnic. You're too foreign. You're too undisciplined. You're not graceful. You're not polished. If you're the common folk, God forbid that you're too common. Oh no! Well, if you could see her toes or her butt, she's not all what she's cracked out to be or she's wanting to be. But here's your makeup. Put your makeup on. Do you see any of these people on TV without makeup? No, even the men wear makeup. Okay? And they read a script. I've never claimed to be a news reporter. I am saying I am reporting to you directly from God what He wants me to say. And I'm not speaking for God today. I'm speaking as a human being. But when my Papa God, and believe me when I tell you that I see Paul and Jeremiah. Okay? I'm not making this stuff up. So, in the book of John, John 20, it specifically says that there was an empty tomb, that He appeared to Mary Magdalene, because it wasn't Mary, His mother. The first person He appeared to was Mary Magdalene. She was a witness to His crucifixion, and she was a follower. He cast out 7 demons out of her. So you don't believe that okay. What you're saying to me is that whatever you said in 1993 or 1994, we're not going to forgive you. Okay? If you ever said anything between 1994 and 1998, we're going to hold that against you for the rest of your life. To make it miserable for you, because we are Christian. That's ridiculous. Hypocritical. I don't care about what any of you think about me, because you're not my parent. You're not looking after the best interest of me or my child. It's a competition out there. And you want to be a winner, but not in the eyes of God? No. So in John 20, it says, empty tomb, He appeared to Mary Magdalene, He appeared to the disciples, and then a particular disciple, which was Thomas, which we call doubting Thomas. And the irony is, we doubt Thomas, because we believe in Paul's testimony from the moment that the light appeared and changed him. He was transformed, converted. from like a 180 degree turn. We believe Paul, he wrote most of the New Testament. We believe in the gospel of Paul. But in the Bible, in John 20, it says empty tomb. And it says he appeared to Mary Magdalene. He appeared to the disciples, and then he appeared to specifically Thomas. And in the book of John, it says that there were other miracles that Jesus performed that are not recorded in the book. This is why God wants you to bind your books, to bond and bind your books and share notes. Because that's how God intended it, to gather you together. It's like I went shopping the other day for Easter, and I was like, in my head, I was thinking, I don't want to spend more than $100 because I only have this stimulus. But I like children, and I don't want to be spending money just on frivolous things to collect dust. Okay? So if it's a bowl, it's going to hold food. If it's a platter, it's going to hold food. If it's something beautiful, it has a function for it. It's not just sitting there to look pretty. Other than I have two little Susan Lordy statues, the motherhood little statues. And these are nothing I pray to, okay? They're just there to remind me who I am. Okay? I'm not some babe, with the long pretty butterfly eyelashes and this long flowing hair and these gorgeous blue eyes and whatever people are doing on the internet that you don't even know what's what. Okay. So, in fact, if I were given a choice, I would choose brown eyes because I like big brown eyes. If I were given a choice of hair color, which I do when I go to the store, to the health food store or the grocery store, you see all kinds of choices. I don't want purple, I don't want pink. I want the hair color that God gave me, but a little bit. I don't want anybody else's skin color, but I have to even out my own skin color. If you ask me what race I am, I don't know. I'm not going to go and get a DNA just so that I can find out that I am just like you. Because I know who I am. Just like you should know who you are. Does it matter that you have certain percentage of this and that and certain... No. It doesn't matter. Because we're all the human race. And if you're a faithful person, you should know better. It is important to know, your background to a certain extent, for diseases and certain things. But it is what it is, folks. We all have a time to be born and a time to leave. So I know that medical professionals don't want you to say stuff like this. It's like, be quiet. Because healthcare is a big industry in this country. And there's nothing wrong with healthcare. But we don't need to be purposely making people sick so that they can make money off of the patients. That's not right. I believe in preventive medicine, and I believe in a fusion of Eastern and Western medicine. So you have the technology of the West and you have the naturopathic properties of the East, and you put them together to make a better. But I've always said that, but I'm not the picture of health because of all the stress. You know, it's important to have balance in your life, and it's important to go out to dinner, and it's important to exercise, and it's important to have a meaningful relationship with somebody. Certainly. But you're not just going to pick just anybody, right? So it's important, but they know with this DHR that women, because women, when you're a mother, you know, of a child who's under 18, obviously, and DHR comes and picks and takes your kid away from you because they're vultures, okay? They're eating our children. And so, because it's for their gut, it's for their luxuries. It's not for the welfare and well-being of us as a family unit. So, what happens is they know psychology and they know it. They know that mothers are going to be stressed. They're going to be frustrated. Who wants to go out with a woman like that? Who wants to go out on a date, a romantic date, because we all need romance and love. Who wants to go out on a date to hear a woman talking about DHR or about her kid that's been taken away? Do you think a man wants to hear that? Nowadays, it's all about me, me, me. They know that. They know that we're going to go to our grave bitter. They know that. Those mother suckers! So, in the Bible, it says, empty tomb, Mary Magdalene, he appeared to Mary Magdalene first, the disciples, and then Thomas. And it says the importance of the Gospel of John, and it says there are things that are not recorded in this book. This is why God is gathering us for us to bind our notes. Because you believe in the Gospel of Paul, but you don't believe in the Gospel of Thomas? That's not fair. He appeared to Thomas independently, just like he appeared to Paul. So there's a lot of things in the Bible that are missing. So, in the Gospel of Thomas, because Thomas was different, he had a different perspective. He was doubting. So because he was doubting that Jesus was resurrected, you should especially listen to him. Because Jesus said, blessed are those who believe and who haven't even seen me and believe. He was making him feel bad because he was doubting. Because it's like, you have seen me and you believe, but blessed are those who haven't seen me yet believe. So because Thomas was one of those who think for themselves, you should especially read the Gospel of Thomas. And added to the whole picture, reconsider. So Thomas said that Jesus said to Peter, look, Peter, I'm going to make Mary like one of you. Not that he was going to change her sex. Not that she was a lesbian, because that's irrelevant. But what he meant is she's going to man up. And she will inherit. And she is worthy. And now we have this transgender agenda. And I'm not opposed to people, whatever they want to do with their bodies. But with all of this happening, with DHR picking up our kids and making decisions for us, And then people still say, oh, but we have to go with the law, not against the law. It's like these people violated the law to begin with. They picked up our children without court order. They're the ones who are felons. So I'm disappointed because I feel that people are wanting me to be quiet, but then when I'm quiet, they want me to speak up. They want me to vote. Oh no, they don't want me to vote. No, you're not supposed to be involved in voting. Because Jehovah's Witness, we don't vote. It's like, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. Thank you, but I'm not against you. You have the right to do whatever you want, whatever your conscience tells you, whatever your heart tells you. But I'm not voting for other reasons. Oh, well, you don't want your vote to count? Then don't expect. Don't expect anything. If you're not voting, don't even talk to me. I don't want to hear from you. Because you're just, you don't want to vote, you don't want to speak up. Then you'll hear people saying, well, she's not a reporter. She's not reporting on anything legitimate. We're news reporters. We have fancy equipment, fancy cameras, good lighting. We have, good people here to interview. I never said I was a news reporter, did I? I said I am E4 reporting. I never said I was a Jehovah's Witness or a Catholic or a Baptist. I've always said I'm a non-denominational Christian because I believe in the cross. I believe like standing up like a man, having courage and strength, because we're not going to inherit this earth. No, we're going to be crucified like Jesus was, are we? We have to have courage and strength to overcome. But when we're born from God, when we come down the birth canal, coming out of his womb, out of his heart, then we'll inherit the earth. But we have to labor first. We have to labor. Like Paul said, labor. But you believe in the gospel of Paul, but you're not going to believe the gospel of Thomas? Well, you should. Oh, because that's not Jesus' tone? Most of the New Testament is from Paul. And then you've got Matthew, Mark, and Luke, which is pretty much a repetition of itself. Matthew, Mark, and Luke is the same. And then you've got the Gospel of John, and you've got most of the Gospel, which is Paul, but not Thomas. There's a lot of things in the Bible that were purposely left out. This is why our Papa God wants us to bind and bond and bind our notes. I was shopping the other day for Easter, and I thought to myself, I can only afford $100 right now for, trinkets and whatever for the children. And my son, I don't want him eating candy with artificial colors and flavors, so I didn't get my son any candy with artificial colors and flavors. I got my son some art supplies because that's what he wanted. I'm not going to get him something for Easter that's all, foofy if it's going to do him no good. I mean, they already have candy for Halloween, and they already have all kinds of candy that you don't even know what they're being fed at these different environments. So I got my sons some natural gummies and the children, and I got the children something that they can use year round. Some art supplies. Because when you give them the freedom to create, they will be happy. When you give the children the freedom to create, they will be happy. God has given us the freedom to create because He made us in His image and He created this earth. The meek will inherit the earth, but He says you have to have courage and strength, Son of Man. Moses lifted up Joshua, son of Nun. Nun means snake or fish. What do you lift up if it's not a staff, a snake staff? The Son of Man must be lifted up, like Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness. Who took over Moses' job as leader? Joshua, son of Nun. What is a snake? A staff. How do you pick it up? You just grab it by the tail. By the tail! A staff, a leader. So, they know what they're doing. They know their psychology. They know that you're going to have years. You're going to be years in this DHR business without getting paid for studying their law, which is skewed. So, picking up kids without court order, it's illegal. If we were to pick up our kids without a court order, then we're charged with a felony. But when they do that, they're not felons. Show me a law that says that when they pick up our kid, they're not without a court order, that they're not felons. Show me a law. Because if that law applies to them, that law applies to us. I'm not getting paid for this job. Nobody wants to go out to dinner with a woman who is bitter and wanting to talk about DHR or their child missing or their child being mistreated or raped or molested or neglected. Nobody. And they know that. But you've got to be sexy. You've got to be sexy because when you walk by the mall, because you have to help the economy, you have to, God forbid that you sit around at home all day because that's lazy. But God forbid that you walk out there without a mask. Because it's not going to be the police officer going to arrest you. It's going to be some lady that has nothing better to do and going, "You're not wearing a mask. Police officer, please arrest her. I have to wear a mask. She should have to wear a mask." You have this kind of thing going on as we speak. among you. So, my feet, I wear my boots so that I don't feel pain when I'm standing for a long time, because I need to be elevated just a little bit. I need to wear high heels for a little bit to keep me on my tiptoes, because I cannot be flat all the time. That hurts my foot. I need a little lift to get my weight off my ankle. I will show you a photo of my feet. So I need to be sitting and standing, and walking and be busy. So when you're a stay-at-home mom, that's basically what you do. You cook food and you feel good that you're cooking it and your child is eating your good food that's prepared in the style. Because these DHR people, they know psychology, and they know that when you're cooking and if there's no child there to eat your food, you're going to be frustrated. Because for one, your child is not enjoying your food, but there's nobody to eat your food. There's nobody to take you out on a date, because nobody wants to go out with a woman who's frustrated about her kid being taken away from them. No. So they already know that you're just going to be getting older and more bitter, and they're just watching it. They're filming it. Every time you go to the DHR, they've got their phone and they're filming you. And they're like, look what we're doing to her. Just love it. Love it! Mother suckers! They don't want you to spend your money on things that you would have normally spent your money on. No, they want you to spend your money on them. On top of them taking your kid away from you without a court order, they want you to pay them so you can get your kid back. And that may not even guarantee you're getting your kid back. You may have to get 2 or 3 attorneys to finally get it done. Oh yeah, they know what they're doing. This is a business. They're vultures preying on your children, eating your children. You have to be strong and courageous. You have to have the armor and the helmet. You have to, right? But the meek will inherit the earth. Not us. We're going to fight for them. But we're going to be born of God. And we are children of God, being born from God. And we will inherit our own work. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and this mother said that President Eisenhower was involved in child trafficking. Where she got that information from, I don't know. She obviously doesn't know President Eisenhower. Doesn't know anything about him. She said that he was involved in all of this that's happening. That I'm a revolutionary. I did not invade any Capitol building with guns. I don't even have a gun. I'm not promoting that police officers are the enemy. But I am aware that in the recent past, maybe not right now, but in the recent past, that especially black Afro-Americans were being targeted for, with possession of marijuana or possession of drugs for the prison system. But I'm aware that not all black people are victims, and that there are a lot of people who have guns and drugs and are selling drugs and selling guns and prostituting people and killing people and involved in illegalities. Just like white people and Hispanic people. Just because somebody Hispanic, like me, that doesn't mean that they're a good person. Does that mean that I'm not a good person? Because you don't know me? Because you invade my home, anybody can take anything out of order. It's like saying, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your child's death. It's like, excuse me? Or when your child has passed away, it's like, oh, how's your child doing? Oh, yes, your kid, I saw your child's photo on Facebook the other day. Oh, how is your child doing? It's like, my child passed away a few years ago. Thank you. Where were you? Oh, yeah. When I die, it's not going to be any better for you because you're not meeting me at the cross. But I'm a revolutionary. I have no guns. A revolutionary, we have to be careful with that word because nowadays all phone calls are monitored and recorded. I'm aware of that. That's why I talk to myself, because I have nobody to talk to. I don't have family members calling me to say, hi, I was thinking about you today. Or, how are you? How's Alexander doing? I don't have family members, but DHR knows that because all of our phone calls are monitored and recorded. So before they orchestrated this, I was being monitored and recorded. So, because, look, Miss Valerino, she has no family. Alexander's not going to be better off with Miss Valerino. She has no family. So, you mean to tell me that you think my son's better in Brazil? His family from Brazil came over here because they were saying that it was so corrupt and so much poverty that police officers over there in Brazil were shooting at random, killing innocent bystanders because they were not properly trained. That's not the reason why I came from Panama. I came from Panama as a military dependent. I came here legally. My son was born and raised in America. So these people are basically saying, look, this is easy prey for prostitution and organ harvesting. You know, nowadays we have a lot of myopia, and these kids in DHR are especially vulnerable because myopia is on the rise. It's from being like this to the computer. Okay? And when we don't have our kids with us, they can keep on upping their prescription and making their eyes weaker and weaker. And you know that myopia can lead to retinal detachment. There's organ harvesting going on. So you mean to tell me that because I don't have family, that my son is better off being donated for his organs or donated for his genitals to be out there molested because I don't have family? You bunch of hypocrites. That's all I have to say to you.